Hi guys, dan selamat kembali ke Studio Sembang bersama saya Amy. In the studio this week, we have a very, very, very exciting guest. Someone who's achieved so much in sports that maybe you guys are not so familiar with. So today we're going to learn more about it. We have Qabil Ambak. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me here.
No, thank you meluangkan masa bersama kami minggu ni.
Okay, thank you.
Well, let's get straight into it.
Okay.
We've already done the prep work outside.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling
Yes.
good? Fresh off of a win, big win.
Yes, still the adrenaline still there.
I can imagine.
from the win, but yeah.
As it should. I hope that adrenaline carries on for a really long
I
time.
hope so.
So, dekat sini kita always start dekat tempat yang sama, which I'm sure you guys know already, which is at childhood.
Yeah.
So, the first question, how was your childhood?
Well, I didn't have much of a childhood apart of being with the horse.
Yeah.
So I spent most of the time when I was in during school days I was in with horses.
Really?
So I've been known as the Kuda boy.
The
From all the teachers, every time the Kuda is back. Kuda is back.
Really?
Yeah, because I spent a lot of time going to compete, going
Yeah, I
training,
bet.
and so hardly spend time with friends. I had no friends apart from the horses.
No, I
So
get
the
that.
horses were my friends
Your
at that
best
time.
friends.
Best friends.
Oh.
So, but it was an interesting childhood for me, being with animals and communicating with animals. So it's something that also helped me in life.
I bet.
To understand people
Yeah.
and all that. So it's something interesting.
I have a timeline question that I need to clear up with you.
Yeah.
Daripada apa yang kita baca online, which is
Yeah.
kind of difficult to find information, especially about our athletes, right? Malaysian athletes,
Yeah.
in depth, like how they started in their career and stuff like that. Dari apa yang Amy baca, I think that you went to Australia when you were 12.
Yes.
But
correct.
I'm imagining that this delve into equestrian sports started way before then.
Yeah.
When was the first and how did you get into it?
Well, it started off as a hobby, like weekend hobby. Then our family had like a fishing farm.
Oh,
dekat,
nice.
A bit outside dekat Kuang in the kampung near Sungai Buloh. So,
Oh, nice.
So every weekend we go there to fish.
Yeah.
Then one day my dad just decided, okay, daripada just fishing, why don't we have some horses around the farm that we can. So we bought a few horses, ponies at that time. So when we naik pun, like, we didn't know how to ride. So naik, jatuh, tergolek, then got back on. Then my
Belajar
dad said-
sendiri macam tu?
Belajar sendiri.
Wow.
So then my dad said, no, you have to learn how to ride, bro, because the amount of getting on off the horse, that
Yeah.
you need to learn the right way to ride. That's when I moved to Australia, because that was the closest horse country.
Yeah.
So I went to Perth
I see.
to belajar how to ride the English way.
I see. And also dekat Malaysia, there's not like a huge... I'm sure probably even in your friend group pada ketika itu kan,
Yeah.
how many of your friends knew about like equestrian sports and stuff
Not
like that?
many, no.
It's quite niche,
Yeah. So people think, like, even for me in school, like, even the teachers don't understand. It's like, what are you doing?
Like, what
It's
is
like,
this?
You're wasting your time with horses. Every time I go, there's like, you're gonna be, I mean, it's useless being with horses. So that also motivates me. Like, I said, no, I have to produce result. So
Okay.
finally, alhamdulillah, I managed to contribute 30 medals for Malaysia.
Thank you.
So
and
after it
congratulations.
didn't go to waste.
Yeah, not at all.
So it was. I mean, riding was not known. Masa tu is still like, and especially those days, like almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Riding was considered like racing. Only people know racing, polo, but equestrian was like.
Not in the picture lah.
When you say equestrian, they're like, apa benda tu? Apa benda?
Itulah.
To pronounce also difficult. They say, wow, what more? So, but it was something that it was our family passion.
That's so nice.
My brother, my siblings are all into horses. So started off with my parents.
Yeah.
So they said, they supported me and said, no, you have to be in this sport. Hardly any Malaysians that is doing this sport. So
Yeah.
why not we do, and we try this sport. So
Yeah.
that's when we started.
But you beyond tried it. You tried it, you smashed it out of the park, terus kan. But obviously there's a lot that goes into it. I think athletes are some of the most resilient people I have ever been privileged to meet because of the amount of sacrifices and dedication yang diperlukan untuk jadi seorang atlet yang berjaya.
Yes.
So you left to go to Australia when you were 12. Was it a move? Macam belajar dekat situ ke just training and then datang balik?
Training and datang balik. Because at that
okay.
time I was still in school dekat in KL and I was in a government school, Bukit Bandaraya. So I was in there still, but I was hardly in school.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
I went there because I wanted to learn how to, and at that time dekat Malaysia there's no proper, I mean there are, but not proper riding places. So I went there to sort of learn. And from there, I think the coaches like found out like me and my brother have some talent in riding. So they said, why not we start competing, because I think it's possible for you to compete and achieve something. So that's when we started riding. But it's quite a tiring time when you have to travel. Yeah. So I was traveling to Australia and then later on to Canada, to Calgary. I had to fly 36 hours and come back to back to school, then to Europe. So it was quite a hectic journey, I must say, going through around the world in this sport, training and riding and competing. So
pada ketika itu, because like at the start of anyone's career, you have no idea where this is going to go, for how long you're going to be with the sport. Daripada permulaannya, did you think that this was going to end up as your career?
In the beginning, no. I have no, I mean, first of all, horses, you know, you only see in the movies, and you say but you never think of, I never think of like one day I'll be doing this sport. Yeah. So at that time I was doing a lot of cycling, bike, BMX those days. Oh, style, power. So I was doing around in town, going BMX all around. But then when horses came, I've been introduced to horse, then sort of caught my, at that time I was quite shy in school, so I'm quite a loner. So horses helped me a lot because I sort of spend time with the horses. I like to spend most of my time, almost a full day from morning, I mean after school at that time, till nighttime I will be at the stable with the horses. So that like created this bond
with the
horses. Then I sort of managed to communicate in terms of you know, getting to know the horse, understanding the horse,
reading the body language,
the body language. And I think it's quite it relate to also human, like you know, so you learn a lot from horses. So I think that's one of the things that you learn being with horses.
100%. 100%. We were just talking about this kat luar kan, where I was thinking, right, actually probably teaches you patience, teaches you empathy, understanding
and discipline.
Of course,
you need to be on time. So since now it's like clock, like every morning I'm awake like 5 o'clock.
Oh my God, not like the 5 a.m. clock.
Because since I was small, I've been trained. Dah biasa. Because I had tough coaches. I had German coach. So if for example, if I'm late for the lesson 1 minute, no lesson for the day.
Oh wow.
So it has to be, because riding is all about being on time, precise, everything has to be. So I've been trained that way, that I have to be there on time. I can never be late.
It's quite intense.
So it helps a lot in terms of other things in your life.
No, of course.
So you understand like not to be late, not to, you know, so it's I think I've learned a lot from horses alone.
These are super important life skills, actually. Super important life skills. At the time though, obviously as a child, you were investing so much into this passion, hoping obviously one day that it would pay off and maybe you would turn into something bigger. I'm not even sure if you imagined how big you would be able to successfully make it. Tapi there's a lot of sacrifice involved in it as well. At any point during your childhood, you rasa macam you missed out on a lot of normal kid experiences?
Ada juga when like I know after coming back from competition, then you hear in class people say, "Oh, I go out watch a
Pergi
movie
birthday
with
party
friends,
ke?
birthday party,
Yeah.
pergi watch a movie with friends." I had none of that, you know. So I felt like, okay, maybe I'm a bit left behind. But then when I start competing, then I know that there's a lot of things that that is I don't know how to say it, but it's a lot of things you can experience, not just by doing those things. And I get the opportunity to travel around the world, so I meet people from all walks of life, you know, so and different cultures. So I learned a lot from being in Europe, being
Yeah.
in Canada, in America, in Australia. Yeah. So those teaches me to deal with people and all that. So I
Yeah.
think horses, it's also a way of life, like for me now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
dah lama with kuda, so 30 over years, so it's like hard to part with the horse.
Exactly.
With the horse.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. It's, I feel like macam when you've committed to it for so long,
Yeah.
it's a part of you. This is your identity juga,
Yeah.
right?
So even it was a bit hard when before I was single, not married. So when I got married, a bit tough for me to, because I'm so used to the same routine.
Of course.
So to get out of the routine was a bit tough, but eventually, you know, I managed it.
Yeah.
But it's part of me already.
100%.
Too many years that
Yeah,
I'm with
too
the
many
horse.
years, exactly.
Susah to you know,
Yeah.
to take me away from them.
I can imagine. Let's take it all the way back to your first ever international competition. This was the 15th SEA Games in Thailand.
Yes.
And you were 15 at the time.
15.
And I can't imagine what it must feel like to represent your country pada umur yang sangat muda, 15 tahun saja. The good thing is your team was made up of your siblings. So that's kind of cool.
Yes.
But talk us through what that was like for you.
Yeah, it was the first time to represent the country.
Amazing.
And it's a lot of pressure in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was still young, considered to take that big responsibility, you know, to perform. But thank God I have my siblings.
Yeah.
That I feel comfortable, that I, you know, feel that they also supporting me.
Yeah.
We support each other in terms of strategizing and planning that, you know, all this.
Ni bukan siblings biasa-biasa. Me and my brother sitting down deciding what to eat for dinner. You and your siblings like, guys, how are we going to win this?
So always like, okay, how are you going to plan to win this? We have to win. So every big tournaments, competition among the siblings, we will plan.
Wow.
Okay, who go first? Because in the team, there's a lineup. Who goes first, second, third. So we, among each other, okay, I think you go first in case backup. If something happens, I can cover you, you know, your points. And so we strategize in that way.
Wow.
So it's a lot of strategizing. But it also keeps the bonding, the family bond. So it's also a family sport. Like for me, the whole family, we've been traveling together, training together as a family, and with the support of my parents also coming together with us. So it built a strong family ties. Team.
Yeah.
So it's something I think you don't see nowadays. People start doing other sport and, you know, leave behind. But this one was like everyone is involved, the whole family, like supporting and cheering, and so that feels like, you know, you feel that support that you have, that you can go on.
Semangat lebih sikit.
Lebih sikit. Daripada you alone, then you feel like, oh, you know, nervous. But this
because
one,
international stage at 15, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Especially you had to carry the countries, you know, but you're very proud. You feel
Of
like
course.
very proud that you've been selected, and
Of course.
you're given a chance.
Huge
to
honor.
represent, an honor to represent Malaysia. That's why till today I feel honored to be carrying the Malaysian flag all over the world, competing all over, you know, in unknown countries like countries that people don't go, Belarus, Czech Republic.
Very small Malaysian population,
So
like
some,
Sembang, I think.
so even the first time I went to Calgary, they don't know where Malaysia is. Then,
How do you handle that?
Yeah, it was hard to explain. They say, Malaysia, is it part of America? I said, no. Is it near Hawaii? I said, no.
I understand.
They said, oh, do you still live on trees? I said, no.
Have you actually been asked that?
Yes. So they said, do you actually
Wow.
live? And I said, yes, we live on trees, but we have elevators to go up.
I like it. I like it very much. It's a good comeback.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because especially like Calgary is a bit outside. It's a bit cowboy town.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of cowboys, they don't see the rest of the world, so they just in their own. So
Yeah.
need to explain. But at the end, they call us the flaming Malaysian.
The flaming Malaysians.
Because we come from a hot climate.
Oh, they're
And,
right.
yeah, because Calgary can go to minus 30.
Very cold there.
35. So it's very cold. So every time they see us, it's the flaming Malaysian. It's
I
back.
love
Flaming
this.
Malaysian.
I love this so much. And if you don't mind, I'm going to borrow it. Like next time I meet someone that's international, they're like, where are you from? I'm a flaming Malaysian.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's
call this-
brilliant.
But in Calgary, the people are so nice there,
Mm-hmm.
friendly, and it's one of those country that I would go back and want to visit again.
Yeah. I've heard they're very warm.
They're very warm.
Yeah.
They treat everyone, even though they've never traveled the world so much. Some of them. But I think nowadays, this was like many years ago.
Yeah.
So-
And now the world's just getting smaller and smaller.
now everyone's like traveling, and the world is those days it was tough. And then I had to stay in France for a couple of years in Fontainebleau, which is like near Paris, and nobody speak English at that
How
time.
do you acclimatize? That's why one of my first questions to you was, how many languages do you speak? Or understand even?
I can understand a few, but I don't really speak any, because most of where I train, they understand
English
English.
speaking. Oh, I see.
So it's just the day-to-day life that you have to
Go to the
buy grocery,
kedai or
buy the grocery. So I learned how to manage, like, especially because I'm not staying in the big town like Paris. I'm a bit at the kampong skit. So
outskirts a bit, or suburbs.
So at those days when you come in as an Asian, everyone silent in the restaurant, like they've never seen an Asian coming
No,
into
of
this
course.
kampong,
I can imagine.
kampong place.
Yeah.
So but it was a good experience for me to know that you get you acclimatized to the culture, and I have learned also a way how to make them speak English.
Nice.
Yeah, because I speak Malay to them. Every time they speak French, I just speak Malay. Then they
So
say,
there's a small
"Can you-"
population of Fontainebleau that we go there, they can speak Bahasa Melayu.
Yeah, they've learned the
Okay,
Malaysian.
best gila.
Because I keep speaking. Then they say, "Can you speak English?" Then I'm like,
Find the middle ground there, kan?
Yeah, find the middle ground.
You've traveled all over the world to compete, and something that I find really remarkable about your career that you've achieved is that I think at every single competition that you've taken part in, you are on the podium. You are finishing with a medal. There's been like very few instances that I read of you taking part in any competition that you don't really excel at. So I think my next question is about the competitive spirit, right? Because a lot of athletes are very, very competitive.
Yeah.
But the question is this nature versus nurture? Were you always that way?
I was probably a bit. I'm always when I have a goal, I would like push myself to the limit. So I think every athlete, they want to achieve the best, give their best, but to be better than the rest, you have to push that a bit more than what you can do. So I'm that person that I would, even the result can be good or bad, but I would take the risk to push. So you need that mentally also, you have to be strong. So I've gone through a lot of mental training, sports psychology, and learn how to handle pressure.
What is sports psychology? How do we learn this?
Sports psychology is how to handle your opponents, your competitors, and how to handle, for example, media. In a big competition like for Asian Games, people will be asking, what's your prediction? What you when are you gonna win gold, silver? So it's that pressure. You have to be able to handle that pressure, whether some people might get, there's so much pressure put on you, and then
Yeah.
you feel like, I can't perform because too much is on me.
Distraction. Yeah.
So like distraction from outside of the arena, you have your, surrounding. So for me, I only hear the coach voice. So anyone else speaks to me during the competition day, I can't hear, because I've already set myself only the coaches.
Like the frequency to hiding a coach, right? It's like a walkie-talkie.
Set, yeah.
Wow.
So anyone can speak. Sometimes my friends say hi. They say, why didn't you? And I say, I can't. Already I'm into that mode that I don't hear anyone else.
Wow. That type of focus and laser tunnel vision, right?
Because you need to be at this level where you want to perform and give your best. You need to be able to be focused, and just you and the horse. That's it. The outside, surrounding can't, because when you come into the arena where people, like cheer, or people like, some arena you go, people boo, so your spirit dah macam drop, if you come in that spirit. So you have to be able to take that and use that and make it work for you. So,
yeah. Well, that's so overwhelming. I've always wondered how athletes do this kind of thing in front of, I suppose it's the same for entertainment personalities,
Yes,
right? You step on stage, you're a singer,
Yeah.
you have to drown all that out.
Yes.
But in a way, you're performing for the audience.
Yes.
It's kind of slightly different. This is a competition environment. You have something extra to prove outside of just a performance.
Yeah.
You have to be so sharp.
Yes.
And people are yelling all around you. And then you've probably just done a media interview that's kind of, what type of training allows you to be the type of person that can do that?
I think it's all on yourself. There's no one can control all this. It's how you take that. That if someone comment on you, is how you can't really train, but you have to set your mind in certain thing. Like, okay, I wouldn't take that comment so badly, or I would just put it aside. So it's all on you. So it's how you manage yourself, because people can tell you, okay, don't think of this, don't say that, but you still think of it.
Yeah, of course, like that's me on a daily basis.
Yeah. So you still think, what did I do wrong? Why this happened? And think, it continues.
Yeah.
But if you can say, okay, that's it, put that aside, I'm moving forward. So for me, it's like that. If something goes wrong, for example, mistake is done, I learned from the mistake, but then I said, okay, next. I don't think of it 100 times, why I did, why I couldn't, why this guy, why this, this thing happened, why the horse this. No, I just put it aside and say next, because I can't change the past. So I can just move on to that. And that makes me, I think, pushes me to get that medal. Because if you think too much, it's too much to take, to carry, to win that medal. Because you're carrying the past. It's too heavy. So you throw the past and just think that moment.
Asking for a friend. Can we all learn this skill? Because I feel like in 2025, inilah apa yang I nak amalkan sebenarnya. Take whatever I need, and then everything else, goodbye. Delete, control, alternate, escape.
Yes. Yeah.
Boleh?
Boleh. But it's all on you. If you can do it, if you put your mind and say, this is what I want to do, you can do it. But it's it's because nobody else can help you on that. Yeah, people can advise and say, this is how to. But at the end of the day, it's you who feels, how you feel. So you need to say, okay, I don't want to feel this way. I want to just, that's how I cope with my competition life. Because it's hard for me, because because especially if you already win one medal, then there's expectation. Like macam, okay, next game they already, okay, you have to win again.
Amazing.
So for me, okay, how do I take that pressure to go? Because I don't know the result yet.
Yeah.
But the only thing I know, okay, I can only do my best, so I will train as hard as I can and focus on that. That's it. I can do the rest. Yeah, we leave it.
So actually, you brought up a really interesting point that I've never really thought of before. So if I'm not mistaken, your first ever gold medal was in KL.
Yes.
At the SEA Games here, 2001.
2001.
Yeah. And this was kind of like when I first read this story, because I am not a competitive athlete, I was like, wow, amazing. Like, you must feel so happy and so energized. And I didn't realize that once you start winning big and creating like a much bigger name for yourself, that also is directly proportional to the pressure that you feel, because now you have something to prove. You have something to lose also. You walk in and people are like, oh, that's...
Yeah. I feel it like for most of the athletes, it's like that's why the pressure is how the athletes that can handle that pressure is the one that survive, because that's a lot to carry when you're expected to going as coming into the ring as
A champion.
potential
Winner,
winner.
yeah.
So how do you take that, carry that and perform on that day? Because you know that you for me, it's because I know I've done my best. So I've pushed my limit. Whatever the result, it doesn't matter for me. So I don't. Of course, you feel disappointed if you lose, but I know I've done my best. So I know, like all athletes, also they know when they don't get it, they know that they've tried their best. So the trying part is already good enough to put the effort to try. Not many willing to do it.
That's true.
Not many willing.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah, that's why I respect like all athletes. I feel that they are doing their very best. Yeah, even how big achievement or small or winning a small competition, they have tried their best. So that's why I don't have an idol or what, because I know that everyone is trying their best. Even you don't have to be Olympic champion. Even you win a small, but you are trying. The effort of trying, that is something that it's an achievement by itself for me lah.
So fascinating. I think another question that I feel like is maybe relevant to what we're talking about right now, right, is like, how far can talent actually take you? Because I think a lot of the times people would look at somebody like you and they're like, yeah lah, talent lah, good lah, I tak boleh because I don't have talent. And they forget that it's kind of, talent will bring you here, but then if you don't put in the hard work, learn to control your emotions, everything that we've just spoken about.
Yeah, true. I mean, because like talent is the one that help you, but without effort, without pushing yourself, if you're talented also, if you do nothing, doesn't happen.
Yes, you're talented in your bedroom lah. Right, understand?
Yes, that's the and I believe everyone has their own are talented they
in
have
something.
in something. So if once you find that this is what you're good at, that's when you go on and push and work hard for that what you have. Because of course I'm talented at this. Thank God that I'm able, so that I push my limit on this. If I can't be, I'm not good at badminton, so I know I won't be able to, But the ones that are talented, they know that they are talented, but they also have to work hard for it. Because there are many talented people also.
Yeah.
That also, like when you compete, everyone wants to win the gold. And there are many talented people that is competing, because each country will send
the best.
Yeah. So for Asian Game, you have 49 countries would send their best in the country. So among the millions of people, they pick one best. So you're competing among the best. So how do you want to win it? So that's when all this, like how mentally strong you are, how much preparation you did, that gives the edge of making you first or second in that.
And the edge is like, but that's also, I've got so many things to say. I mean, the edge, it's just so nominal. Like one tweak of your mindset and it's the difference.
Yeah, it's different.
The difference is leagues.
Because
right?
like when in Jakarta 2018, I lost the goal by 0.1%. Not even 1%. It's 0.1%. The marks. The percentage.
That's
of
crazy.
I lost the goal by 0. It's like almost...
That's negligible. Like it's like same lah, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I accept it because I know it's not meant for me. So I have to work harder, because I know there is a reason why I don't get that, But I'm happy because I've tried my best. So when the comments they ask in the media, why didn't you win? For me, I said I've done my best, and I'm not sad that I don't win, but because I know I've put my very best, but it's not meant for me to win today. So I accept that. I said maybe next time. So thank God that finally after almost 25 years competing
Yeah.
in the Asian game.
Yeah.
I finally got the goal.
Champion Malaysia! We all quite happy lah, because this is a win for us all, really.
Yeah.
To be able to have an athlete representing us at such a high level in anything, especially for a country that is smaller
Yes.
in a global scale, is a huge, huge achievement. Considering, I think, for Malaysians, I mean, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, right? Like, let's say there are kids out there who want to become equestrians.
Yeah.
It's difficult, or in any type of sports arena in our country, because of size.
Yes.
You know, it's not that we don't have the talent. We do. We are incredibly talented. We are incredibly creative, incredibly smart, but we are small.
Physical plays also. But with equestrian, that's one thing good about the sport. It's not about your physique, how big, small. It's about your skill. Because the physical part is your horse.
Yeah,
isn't it?
of course. Yeah,
of course, you need to be fit and not, need to be. You still need to, physically be fit.
Of course, yeah.
But mostly skill. You need the skill. So that's when this sport, I believe, like, we can achieve something. We can even achieve the Olympic goals. But it's just first, how much you want to spend. That's the
Totally understand.
the problem, where when you reach Olympic level, is there anyone willing to spend that much to win that goal? It's like a lot of people like, okay, if it's my own, it's tough, but it's achievable. For me, it's achievable if you have the right horse and you're training with the horse and it goes well. The chances is there. It's not like, okay, we are Malaysian, we can never achieve,
Yeah.
But because it doesn't involve any physical, we
Totally
don't have
understand.
the disadvantage is the financial support. That's the difference.
I guess that's kind of like what I meant, in the sense that, like, we are a smaller country and therefore our audience size is also smaller.
Small, yes.
And it's this, like, and we see this in media juga. When the audience size is smaller, funding is also smaller,
Yeah,
because
betul.
we are selling, or like, sports is entertainment
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
So it's that entrapped cycle of like,
Yes.
which is challenging, but I believe we will be able to overcome this at some
Yes.
point.
I think some point, if we continue, and it's good that equestrian, because media helps a lot. I feel that media helps to promote the sport, to
Yeah.
get people, the general public, to understand the sport, because people also don't understand. If you, example, equestrian, you say, how do they score? Nobody can answer, like, general, if they don't
Totally understand.
how did this competition go, because it's not so widely there's no coverage. But if the media helps, covering a lot of this, then people understand, okay, this is the sport, this is how you can achieve something from this sport. This is how, I think it will change the mindset of people and the understanding of the sport. But we need that sort of exposure.
100%. I would agree. I would
Yeah.
agree. We're starting here. We're trying to.
Which is good.
I do have another chapter to ask you about, and this is a bit of a challenging chapter that I think happens in any athlete's life. So they always say, again, if you want to be an athlete, confirm akan ada some sort of injury.
Betul.
This is kind of like, don't they say, like, you're not a real athlete if you don't have a crazy
Yes.
injury story, right? I feel like I've heard people say this before.
Yes.
And yours came actually in Paris, 2005. There was an accident where you fell off the horse. You kind of, it was a bit of a challenge for you.
Yes.
And what I admired about your story is not the injury, but it's the fact that with only 1 month to recover from quite a serious, did you break your collarbone, if I'm not mistaken?
I broke my collarbone and fractured my pelvis.
So, okay, wait.
fractured,
What happened?
Okay, I was in a competition preparing for the SEA Games. Then the miscommunication with the horse.
Right.
So the horse took off. This is while jumping. The horse took off, and I wasn't expecting the horse to take off. So the miscommunication threw me 2 meters above the horse, 2 meters, and fell. And then the horse hind legs sort of stepped
Terpijak.
on it. Terpijak.
Yeah.
Normally horses won't step on you. They will try to avoid, but that's because
It's
it's
an
an accident.
Yeah.
So I was completely. So I thought I was gone because I could not breathe. I was late in the middle of the competition ground in Paris. They had to stop the competition for an hour, waiting for the helicopter to come
That's so I'm just trying to imagine the scene, right? Like,
the scene. So
you must have been so scared.
because my body went to shock that I completely paralyzed. I could not breathe. I could only take like I can remember one breath every 20 seconds. Then I keep counting because I said in my mind I was like, I don't want to die here.
No, you need to
I want to
breathe,
go home first before I die.
No.
So I was like, so I was thinking, no, I have to try to stay alive.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then I could see people like running around. I was on the ground. Then I think they put morphine. They were putting because they didn't want to touch me because they afraid that
They will displace something.
So they waited for the heli to bring the inflatable stretcher, whatever. So yeah, I passed out after that. I could not remember. I woke up in the hospital. Then I thought I was dead. So I woke up like, am I alive or dead? Because I was in this kampong hospital in Fontainebleau.
Oh my gosh.
There was no windows. There was just like 4 walls. I remember a bed. That's it.
You woke up, you're like, where am I?
Yeah, I was like, am I dead?
Oh my god!
This is so. Because I was like disoriented.
I don't know
where I was.
Because you had passed out, right?
Yeah, so I was like a bit. It took me a while when people start coming in and talking. Then I sort of knew like, okay, something happened to me, but then after that I was like, I have only 1 month for the SEA Games. I said, how are they gonna fix this broken collarbone and fractured pelvis? So I thought, okay, so they flew me back to Malaysia to get treated. So I got treated here, and then the doctor says no chance to compete because if we do the surgery, put the plates, it will take 5-6 weeks for the the fractured and the broken collarbone to. But I got some help to take that pain. So mentally I took that challenge to go through the pain and still compete. So I was not in pain during competition but suffering after.
No, I can imagine. It must have been like one of the most challenging mentally times for you, just because you're gearing up for competition.
Yes.
Something happens before the competition and it's like, sorry, you can't compete anymore.
Yeah.
After all this work.
Yes, that's what I thought. Like, first I thought like I've been preparing, and then I don't want to let my whole team, my coach, my support team also to they work hard as I do. So I said no, I have to do it. As long I'm still alive. I mean, there's a way. I said there's a way to do it. So I said, okay, let's do this. And yeah, thank God, I managed to get the goal in Manila.
And you won. You won with a broken pelvis and a broken collarbone. You still won. I'm so sorry. If I had a broken collarbone and pelvis, I would be like, I'm quitting everything. I'll see you all next year. Goodbye.
Yeah. They said I'm crazy. You could be, scarred for life.
Yes.
Yeah, but I said, I think I feel that I can do. I can do it. I said. So they said, okay, it's up to you. Sign your own waiver form and do it.
Qabil, I mean this as a compliment, but you are slightly crazy. Like really, genuinely.
To be with horses, you have to be crazy. Yeah. But to achieve all that, you have to go for a bit. You have to be a bit crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
If not, you will already like, okay, if this happened, you're like, okay, no, I'll stop here and wait for. But you have to think like, if you can do it, do it.
I mean, for me, just like from the outside, it seems very much like some of the biggest challenges are you, yourself, and you. Like it's you are arguing with yourself. And I think about it, right? Like in a different universe, if you had terlalu cepat kalah dengan this situation and you didn't do it, you would not have won that goal. And what a shame that would have been.
Yes, for me, that's how I feel actually. I feel like if I don't, at least I've tried and I don't get it, then I'm happy. Like I did what I can. But if I say I pull out and say, oh no, I can't do it, then I feel like I lost already before even it's
because you didn't even try.
I don't even try, so I wouldn't know if I would win or lose because I know that the result someone decides, so it doesn't matter. So I said, I still need to do it because if it's meant for me, it will happen. Like the Asian game recently, last year,
Yeah.
my horse arrived with a temperature of 40. Had fever.
I read this story.
Yeah.
You swapped horses like very, very last minute, right?
Yeah, last minute.
What
swap
happened?
horse. So I had two horses. I had one horse and then an old horse and a young horse. So during quarantine in Germany, in Aachen, I had to decide because they only allow one horse, and because of the cost, I'm allowed one horse. So at that moment, I had to pick the more experienced one, the older one. But the older one, you know, if with the traveling time,
Might be more tired. It's a risk. It's a risk.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
The younger one would survive all this, traveling. So, but I took the risk. I said, because it's a big competition, the young one might be a bit, coming into the big arena, looking a bit, can be a bit spooky,
Disoriented, yeah.
spooky and, so nervous. So I said, I take the old one, but I take the risk if something happens. So when it arrived, high temperature, because 36 hours from the stable to
Your
the stable.
horse?
Yeah. So he had 40, and then thank God I had my team, my vet. I have a French vet that worked with me for the last 20 years. So he was there. So he just told me, give me 3 days. If in 3 days, the competition starts in 5 days. 3 days, the temperature doesn't go down, then we're out of the competition. We have to, say, that's it. This is as far we go.
I feel like knowing your personality by now, you were like, absolutely not. We're going to figure
So
this
I was
out.
like, no, let's do. I said, but he knows me very well. He said, don't think about it. You just go back and rest. I will deal with this. I'm the vet. I will deal with this. So he slept with the horse 24 hours to ice the horse, because you're not allowed any prohibited substance, any medical, because you can be tested.
It's like a
doping.
performance enhancer or something, right? Yeah.
So you've been tested. The horse and you will be doping tests. If you win, immediately they take the horse urine and you're the athlete, and then whichever positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no
Medical assistance whatsoever. Even if the horse has fever.
Yeah. So unless
Kena cool fever sekali.
no. If you decide you don't want to compete, if it gets too bad, then
Yeah.
you need to do it. Then you do it, but you're out of the competition. So he iced the horse every 15 minutes. You have to ice the horse for the
Manually, throughout
almost
the night.
48 hours.
Wow.
Icing, putting that. But miraculously, in the third day, the horse was
Back to normal.
back to normal.
It's a sign.
So I said, okay, now we can. He said, now we can start.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. That's why you need to be mentally strong.
Yeah.
Because knowing that when you arrive, you've prepared everything, and then this happened.
You're going to goyang lah.
Yeah, you'll be like, am I? The horse is not ready. I'm ready. Is the horse gonna perform?
Yeah, and then even after the horse recovers, you're now getting ready
Yeah.
to take part, and you're like, is the horse gonna be okay?
Yeah, because
like,
I'm competing among horses which are healthy, and I'm, competing with the horse
Yeah.
that just recovered like 3 days ago and
Yeah.
2 days to recover and then compete in the first. But because I know the horse for so well, I know what he needs, how much. So that's why the first day, I take it easy, because there's 3 days competition. So the first qualifier, yes, I was like second, and then third. I wasn't in the top, because I know the final day is the medal day.
yeah,
So those 2 days are not important. So
you just need to make it into the top this and
so
then the
I
top.
just try to make it so that I don't over push the horse and give it the best.
Even that's a strategy.
Yeah, it's a strategy. So that's why. But of course, people don't understand. And the media say, why you get second? Why first day you don't lead? But they don't know that
The story behind it.
how you
Yeah.
strategize. So I had to strategize my own. But so first day I take it easy. Second day, and I know the last day I have to give it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's either do or that's it.
Go big or go home lah.
Yeah,
right?
it's like that. So I said, this is the day, do it or that's it. So that's when I pushed the horse to its limit and finally achieve what
You're waiting to achieve. And congratulations. It means that everything happened for you because it was meant to happen for you,
Yeah.
but also with a great amount of skill from your end.
Yeah.
Because I think from the outside, that's what people don't understand. They think like for most athletes, okay, you're an equestrian,
Yeah.
your job is to ride horse lah,
Yeah.
ride lah the horse, and then develop the skill.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. It's
Yes.
the strategizing, the
Yes.
semua ni lah yang I
Yeah.
macam I've never thought of this in my life.
I think it's not only equestrian, other sport also
For
is the
sure,
same.
for
You know,
sure.
you have to strategize your you have to know your competitors, strategize.
For sure.
If knowing, you have to know what you're facing with, you know.
Mm.
So for me, every time I go, I already studied, make my research on the competitors.
Oh wow.
So who have the best horse, who is going to, you know, whether I can beat. If there's no chance, I know no chance of beating, then I said, okay, not my time yet.
Mhm.
I have to
Reconsider.
whether I should because of the cost.
Mhm.
So then when I know there is a chance, that's when I said, okay, we have to do it because there is a chance of getting it. you
Yeah.
know.
That's a very calculated risk almost, it sounds like, right? I had another question for you
Yeah.
that I asked you outside because these are things that I think are fascinating. I want to know more, but we don't have access to this information unless we like specifically go and look for it.
Yeah.
And with you here, I'm never going to get this opportunity again, so I have 1,000,001 questions for you. So every time you go and compete, how many horses do you bring with you?
Okay.
Like, what's the system?
The system, okay, you have a few, normally you have a few horses at home that you train with, but you have normally the main horse and the reserve horse. So, like normal competition, you will bring at least two, like not a big championship, because a championship like games, Olympic, you're allowed one.
Wow.
You're only allowed, you are allowed to change horse before the horse fly. So whatever, because the horses, like in our sport, horses have to be quarantined before they go to any, for Olympic
Event
games,
or-
yeah, like for
Right.
Paris or LA Olympics, they have to be quarantined.
Yeah.
So they will be all grouped together and quarantined in a certain, they pick a certain
Area.
area that they quarantine and test. So you can bring two horses, and then from there, you still need to train and at that area. Then you decide before the horse fly to put which horse goes into the
Into
plane.
the, understand.
So that you're going to take. So once you have that horse in the plane, that's it. That means if anything happens when it lands, if it's sound, they call it sound when it arrives.
So
all
this
happening.
area, hold on. This area is not near the actual event.
Not
It's in a
area.
completely separate.
Separate.
So when you say fly, you mean fly the horse from there to the.
Yeah. So all these big games, you have to fly the horses.
Yeah.
There's, so
I
the
thought the
horses-
quarantine area would be like, I don't know, like sebelah lah. Dengan the.
tak, but the venue itself is a quarantine area, but
Right.
before the horse fly to the country country of competition, they need to be quarantined.
I
So
see.
they need to be checked by their passport. Every horse has passport, their vaccination, like
Wow, I mean, it's fascinating to know.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Okay.
So they have to they have to be like prepared before they fly.
Right, of course.
Yeah, so they have a system. You go through and all have like a chip in their neck, so they'll be screened to know that is no, swabbing.
All of this, like doping or anything. Yeah, right?
So they'll be tested, blood tests. So you have to do like maybe 20 blood test requirements of the country. Like for example, China will give their quarantine protocol, what they require. If they want 50, let's say, blood tests, different blood tests of all the diseases, then you have to do.
Yeah, because you're basically you're bringing a foreign animal
Foreign
into a
to-
country, so they don't
yes.
want to have all of these
Disease
diseases.
into spread.
Betul,
in the,
betul. Makes
so
sense.
with horses, that's the difficult part. So that's why it's a lot of preparation. And for example, if you get you have the horse suddenly fall sick of some disease that you unknown, then at that last moment, then you test and positive, then you're out.
Has this
So
ever happened to you? Is there
it
any
has-
way of like fixing
It has happened
or?
during the Busan in 2002 Asian Game in Korea. My horse had they call it pyro, this disease. It's a breeding disease, but happened to my horse. So there was an incident. Okay, Korea said in the beginning pyro horses are allowed to compete. So
Yeah.
I prepared everything. The horse winning like the Grand Prix in Portugal, and was ready to go to Korea. So we put the horse on the flight in the plane, and then I got a call. They don't accept Cairo, Korea.
Well, that's very last minute lah.
I took plane, but thank God at that time. Then suddenly, a few hours later, the flight took off with 60 horses going. Then they called me, said no, it's allowed. But thank God that time Malaysian Airlines helped and say no, we will fly your horse.
Really?
We will pick your horse up and fly.
So when that flight departed, after your horse had been rejected, your horse was not on the flight.
Not on the flight.
Oh,
I was
so
just left behind.
So stressful.
So that time, because at that time the horse, I was a potential gold medal winner.
Right.
So I feel that is some sort of, okay, we don't mention, you know. So but then they said okay, so they want to test because they want me to be mentally,
I understand.
you know.
I understand.
So I said, okay, what do I do? But then Malaysian Airlines said, no, we will pick your horse up and bring to Busan from
That's wonderful to
Portugal. So again, put the horse in the plane, call again. They just before takeoff, they said not allowed.
This is an emotional roller coaster for us listening to your story.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, now what? And then thank God I had a reserve horse. I said, okay, this horse not allowed. Take my reserve. I have to make do with my reserve.
Yeah.
Even this is the main horse that is
supposed to be competing.
Yeah. So I said reserve. So I went to Korea. With a reserve horse, but of course it was a bit tough, but managed to get the bronze in the Asian Games. So
congratulations.
but couldn't get the gold. It was stopped by a lot of problems. But that's why I was still chasing for the gold, because I know it's there. But every time that I was stopped by so many,
by whatever,
I have been been stopped by all this happening.
Different complexities, right?
Yeah. So I thought, okay, no, it's there, it's waiting for me, but I need to get it somehow.
Yeah. But if anything, right, just like as a friend just listening to your story, I mean, kudos, because you seem to have dodged every single but these unexpected things happen in life, and the way that you even talking about it and telling us about it is so positive, so much like growth mindset. Kau lah cerita dia, right? And I'm like, this is really inspirational. I love to hear it. I'm like, wow, I need to start reframing my own mental for my life.
I just want to live longer, so I don't want to be stressed.
That's the secret. That is the secret. Oh my gosh, fantastic though. Fantastic. Congratulations. Okay, more questions about horses that I've never known before this. I'm assuming that horses, no, I'm not assuming, I know this lah. Horses, obviously, they are a living thing. They have moods, they have energies, they've got spirit. Maybe one day they wake up, they don't want to compete, they're hungry, I don't know. How involved are you with the horse? I assume that you have to be there every day so that you build a relationship.
You need to be to bond with the horse.
Of course.
You have to be almost every day at the stable with the horse.
Wow.
So and fortunately also now where I live, I live in the stable where
that couldn't be more convenient. Fantastic.
So my house is in the riding area, so I can just walk down the stable and
that's brilliant.
Be with the horses. So but you need to know your horse. It's
of course.
Every horse has different character.
Of course,
it's like human also.
Yep.
So some are more sensitive, some are, some are hardworking, some are lazy, some are. There's so many.
They got personalities.
Yeah. It's like human also.
Yeah,
so
of course.
You have to deal with all those different personalities.
Wow.
So, but once you get to know the horse, then you know this horse, okay, it doesn't like to work more than 20 minutes. It likes only maximum 20 minutes. Then, enough, stop, and, don't push the horse too much. And so that is you have to know by being around the horses.
This is team building. This is team management.
Team building,
Wow.
But then later on it applies to your daily other things in
of
life
course.
also. You learn that okay, you need to do things certain way, and then you have to deal with different personalities, in life.
Yeah.
And you understand, and you don't get stressed out about it. You understand that this is a character of a horse, and you can't change that character.
Yeah.
So as much as you want it to be this way, it can never be that
Yeah.
way.
But you
So
can't
just,
force another living thing to
yeah.
be what you want it to be
Yeah.
anyways.
So sometimes some people, I want the horse to do this, but the horse can't do it.
Yeah.
The character only the ability is up to this level. You can't push it, and then they get upset, and that's when they abuse the horse. When they're asking too much of a horse, when the horse is not able to. So it applies like to human also.
Of course,
When
yeah.
You're expecting so much from someone, and then there's someone not giving, then you get upset. But actually, that's as much as they can give. That's all.
Yeah.
It's quite. So I take it. That's the stress part, the stressful part. So, but once you've gone through it, then you're not stressed, and it helps me. I'm not stressed with people now.
Yeah.
If people can say this, that I still feel like it's almost like no feeling in stressful feeling.
That is an achievement. I think it's the beautiful art of detaching and like
Yes.
removing control and understanding that there's certain things like you just cannot. It's just not on you.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. It's true. What you can control is certain things you can control. It's okay, but certain things you can't control.
Understand.
You can't control you can control the horse, but certain characters you can't.
Yeah.
You can't change it, or you as much as you want it. Of course, like sometimes you say, I want the horse, if it only can be this way,
Of
it will
course.
be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's not possible.
You can't do anything about it,
So
lah.
you just accept and say, okay, this is as much, but I'm happy with this.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Another thing that I learned today from you outside is that different horses have different talents in different equestrian arenas.
Yes,
So I know that your focus has always been dressage and show jumping,
Yeah.
mostly. And then you just taught me outside that there's another thing called eventing
Anything.
at the Olympics, right? So I want to kind of understand, like, firstly, for you, why did you choose dressage and show jumping? And have you done other types of equestrian sports? How does it work? Like, if one wants to become an equestrian, do you pick a major from the start? How?
Yeah, it's similar, like
Kind
that.
of, right?
Yeah, it's kind of because in riding there's a lot of different types of they call it events, different sports. I mean, different events in equestrian. So there's dressage, jumping. So you pick what you're good at. So you try everything. At first, you try a little bit of jumping, dressage, then you try, if you want to play polo, you try polo. If you want to do endurance, long distance, which I can't do, I can't sit on 5 hours on a horse, for me,
No, I can
it's too much
understand.
for me. So,
Yep.
so there are people who's willing to do it, and they are, they're good at that. So
Different preference, like
there are
I
different preference.
yeah.
So it depends on you, what you're good at, what's your preference. That's when you pick the sport. Like for me, I'm able to do both. Normally, it's quite rare to do 2 events.
I would assume you just like
Yes.
focus on dressage, then you
Yeah.
dressage lah sampai
Because
forever.
it's a different method of training. So you have to be able to like switch the method, like
Tough, huh?
yeah. So you have to like program yourself. Okay, now I'm doing jumping. I have to change my position of sitting on the horse.
Yeah.
Then
This
go
is a
back to
lot of-
dressage. Yeah, I change my positioning on the horse. So it's a lot. That's why not many people willing to do both.
Yeah.
Only one.
Which
you
is
pick.
interesting that you mentioned that, because when I look at all of the events that you've participated in, there'll be like a stretch where you do dressage, and then there'll be a stretch where you do show jumping,
Yes.
but you don't really see overlap at the same time
Yes.
or within very condensed timings lah.
Yes.
Right? Like you would take some gap to kind of retrain with a new horse.
Yes.
Because the horses are also trained separately for different things, right?
Yes, correct.
Interesting.
So and for me, before I used to compete in both, but now I'm focusing on one. So, and also now I look into like, okay, my horse is ready for this or not? If it's not ready, I will, okay, this one is more ready to, because now, before in the beginning, I started off, it's just to be there and get the experience. Now, it's not being there, it's whether I can win or not. That's my goal.
Evolution, right? Of an athlete.
So that's my target is always, if I'm going, win or not just been there, done that. It's no more my what I look for. So
No, I can imagine.
Yeah. So that's when I have to pick which is the best and which has the chance, have more chance of winning. Yeah.
This is all very, very strategic. Outside of strategy, is there a preference that you have between like show jumping and dressage?
I prefer show jumping because
Really?
it's more exciting, more.
It's definitely more exciting to watch. It's
to
like
watch, yeah.
especially if you don't know anything about equestrian.
Yeah, if you don't know about horses, jumping is more interesting.
Because it's like, wow, cool.
Yeah, you jump over fences, but it's clear. Also, the judging is also very clear.
Yeah.
Like, the fans fall or the horse refuse, you can see it.
You can you don't need a specific skill set to see the mistake.
Yeah, you don't need. But dressage is more technical.
Yes.
So you need to have an eye to look because it's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
They have 5 judges judging what you do. What they give points on the movements you perform, whether you're doing it correct, perfect, whether there's a mistake.
Yeah.
So they give points out of that.
Yeah.
That is more complicated for like general public to see, but they can only see the horse is dancing, going sideways.
Yeah, it's more like creative in that sense and subjective. I get you.
And the training for dressage is more intense, more tough because
laborious.
Because it's have to be very precise, everything, because it's all by points. So every corner, if you cut the corner, you minus point. So every inch of the arena you use is points. So you may lose points if you go 5 inches out of the track, then you lose. So you have to go that 5 inch inside the tracks to gain that points. So you have to be able to
so aware.
Yeah, be aware of it. So that's why it's very more technical, detailed, precise, that a lot of people like too much.
But I
do
mean,
jumping.
It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating to learn about, and also like the versatility of an athlete to be able to do both. Quite spectacular. Good.
Yeah, not because it's very tough to do both. So far, not many that I've seen. At Olympic sport also very rare you get one out of
of course
that would do two different, but because I'm able to adapt the changes, that's why I could experience both and manage to get medals in both disciplines. So it's yeah.
Okay, I get it. Let's talk about 2012 because this was an interesting time in your career. I think it's the only time for 4 years you kind of took a step back from the sports. That was also the year that you got married. Congratulations. Now you're a dad of 3. Also congratulations.
Thank you.
Although this is quite a late congratulations, so almost 10 years later, right? But what is it like? I wanted to just ask, like, from the outside, right? For an athlete that's given your entire life to a sport, why did you take a step back firstly? And how was it just from the competitive nature of you to just be like, okay, let me chill?
Yes. No, because it was, growing up since childhood, I've been gone through a lot of, So I thought, okay, I need a break. And at that time, I thought, I have to think of my future. So it's about time to sort of settle down.
Yeah.
I thought like, how long can I go? So if I don't stop somewhere, have a break, then I miss out, and probably I won't be married now. I'll be still, So
that's what I was thinking. Because if you're at the stable every day, it must be so difficult for someone who has given so much of your time to a sport, to your passion, to have any type of personal life.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people won't understand. It's like, why you spend more time with the horse than me, right? It'll be like, So not many would.
You need the right person.
You need the right person to understand and know that support you in giving you like, okay, I understand. You need that time. So thank God I found someone that support me and say, yes, you can go 6-month training. I know that you're doing, I can take care of the at home, whatever the kids. But
how beautiful.
Yeah, so you need that kind of person.
Of course.
If they don't understand, they'll be like, okay, do what you like. And you
it
won't
would
see
be hard
me
for
when
you to
go
focus
and
as
get
well.
home.
No, completely fair. Completely fair.
That's when I took a bit of a break to think about, about my life, my future.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I can't be doing this forever. So I need to stop, break, think about it, and then, but I had to come back because of the SEA Games, and it was hosted in Malaysia, and we were the host to 2017 SEA Games.
That's why I wanted to ask you. So from the outside, I was trying to figure out like why 4 years? Like, what is this time frame? And then, what made you realize that like I'm ready? I have to go back.
Yeah.
Is it because the SEA Games was here?
Yeah, this first of all, the SEA Games was here. So in my mind, I was like, yes, it would be nice if we can compete. But then the push came when, at that time, our sports minister said, look, how are we going to win medals?
Yeah.
I need you to win the medal. So he's like, okay. Then I was like, okay.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I said, after this years, you know, it's not easy to just come back and win
medals.
medals. I said, it's not, everyone's like training day to day. I mean, every day for this, and I have to come back and win.
In those 4 years, were you spending time with horses still? Were you maintaining
I was still with horses, but not competitively. I was still riding, and riding also to keep myself fit. I'm also riding every day now. So
it is a sport after all.
Yeah, it's a sport to keep you fit. But then it was like, okay, I've given this challenge and say, you need to help your country to win medals. And at that time, I'm the most experienced through, and they said, okay, why don't you plan and get this medal for us? So I thought, okay, this is sacrifice for the country. Okay, we'll do it.
Which is amazing.
So we managed to get all goals, team, individual. Malaysia won all.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so then next year they said Asian Game in Jakarta 2018.
And then they've not let you go last season. They're like, okay, you come back, you're stuck now.
So they were like, hold me, like, no, you're not going anywhere.
This is to our benefit lah. At least in Malaysia, we got bragging rights a bit. Equestrian, we're killing it. Yeah.
Because Asian Game is tough to win goal.
Definitely, I can
all
imagine.
Sports also, like I think last Asian Game we got 7.
Yeah.
And normally it's so hard to win the goal.
It is a challenge.
So it's a challenge. So they said, can you, do us a favor to try to win the goal?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, since I did all the training in 2017, why not just continue and for 2018?
Yeah.
So I continued and went for the Asian Game. Unfortunately, lost by 0.1 the goal, but managed
this is
to get
the one you were
silver.
telling me about,
managed
right?
to get the silver in the Asian Games. So but that didn't stop me. Then I was like, then they said, okay, why don't you try for Tokyo Olympics?
This is the story that you guys, you need to hear the story because it's devastating, it's heartbreaking. Go ahead, take it away. We're talking about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and how we almost were privileged enough to see you be participating in it.
Yes.
What happened?
I was almost there, but unfortunately, I overstayed in Denmark, not knowing I've overstayed, and I was deported.
Okay, so we need to ask this question because this is a new thing that I learned today juga yang I sebenarnya tak tahu langsung. How did you not know that you overstayed?
Because I didn't know that when you're only allowed 180 days within that 6 months. So even though
keluar
masuk, it doesn't like back to 0 days. So accumulative
I had
days.
no idea. I learned this today.
They accumulate the days and they count. And I didn't know there's an app for it. They said, oh, you should have downloaded this app. I said, how would I know?
Do you know?
I would know. And so I've never experienced this before. Normally it's just within, but during my qualification time to gain points, you have to have the world ranking points. So I was deported, handcuffed back home.
This is a crazy story. This is a wild story. So you had gone there, if I'm not mistaken, to qualify for an Olympics, which is another new thing that I learned today. You have to take part in other competitions and rack up some points to be eligible to qualify for Olympics.
Yes, you have to be the best in Asia, top 2 in Asia, to be able to compete. To be able to compete in the Olympics. There's only
amazing.
2 sports, individual sports, to be in the Olympics at that time in Tokyo.
So at this point, you had flown in to compete.
Yes.
And you had all of the accreditation, the macam surat-surat apa yang diperlukan lah.
Ada. Tapi unfortunately, they said it's a crime for us. It's a crime that you overstayed. But it was, it's not, I'm sort of overlooked also because I didn't, but then it's also they made a mistake not informing me.
It was just unclear.
Unclear when I left the country. So I came back to come in. But then, so I was flown back home, escorted back home. went through the Thai prison in Bangkok airport, and back home, and blacklisted for 4 years, not entering EU again. So, but thank God, with the help, Yang Dipertuan Agong at that time, he helped me, and all the embassy in Sweden, when the ambassador, so they managed to clear, but it was a bit late. So I finished up reserve at that time. So New Zealand qualified to go, and I was behind reserve then suddenly, this was 2019, 2020 was Olympic, COVID came. Then it was
pushed back one
pushed
year.
back 1 year, and I was stuck in, can't travel at that time. You need vaccination, you need all that. You only travel with a purpose. And so 1 month before Tokyo, they called me and say, yes, New Zealand pull out, you're the next to go. But you need to compete one event before, 1 month before. I mean, this 1 month before.
During the pandemic?
During the pandemic.
Compete dekat mana?
In France. This was held in France, in Lyon, France. So I had to. Then at that time I was stuck. I went to Singapore. My wife is Singaporean, so I stayed with the kids in Singapore. So I was like, how am I gonna go during this? How to travel? So need vaccination. So did my vaccination and managed to get out.
You were still trying to make it happen.
Yeah,
and then what happened?
I said, no, I'm not gonna give up yet.
Yeah.
Until
That's the fighting spirit.
I said I will have to try until it's not possible. Then I know it's not possible. So I said no. Told my coach, I said, yeah, even the horse is not in training during COVID. I said, bring the horse from Denmark to Lyon. So he traveled 3 days driving the horse to Lyon from Aarhus in Denmark. I flew. I was the only person in the plane because nobody flew at that time.
Yalah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the flights, so many flights are cancelled.
Keep your distance. I'm like, there's
From
no one. From who?
Oh, cute lah kan? You flew alone.
Yeah, I flew an SQ. There was three 3-person SQ. So they said, okay, disembark following your seat number one by one. Then the three of us look like there's only three of us.
Yeah,
you can go first. I
Yeah.
go. But at that time, the airport was like, I was in Changi. It was like a ghost town.
No, I can imagine.
Only the gate had lights. Everything else was like total darkness. And people was wearing those
like PPE,
PPE suit. And you have to wear all the masks.
What a life experience.
So I had to go there, arrive. Thank God in Europe, like you can throw your mask away. At that time, they
didn't have it. It was like kind of easing up a little bit.
They were easing up at that time, so they didn't. It's not compulsory unless you're in a enclosed area. So went there, but of course, obviously, I competed, but not enough. The points was not enough because I was not prepared.
You had a month.
Yeah, so I
People
was like,
prepare for so long for Olympics, God.
But because I knew it's going to be almost impossible, but I said I need to try just to prove myself that no, you don't go,
Yeah.
So then I tried and okay, didn't happen. And then I said, okay, it's not my time to to compete. And yeah, came back. And then the next year came Asian game.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, another story starts.
Yeah. Okay. So, Asian Games is very exciting. We're talking about last year's one, right?
Yeah.
So this was the other thing. So this year is 2024, which means that the Olympic has cycled back.
Yes.
Ever since Tokyo 2020, and we did Paris. And you were mentioning outside, you had a toss-up decision to make here. It's either you do Asian Games or you do Olympics.
Yes, because it's the same year. The qualifier for the Olympics is the same year as the Asian game.
Right.
So you have to choose to. I mean, it's not easy to do both. Then you have
different.
You have to compete in Europe to gain the world ranking, and then you have to prepare yourself for the Asian.
So you would have
game.
had crazy schedule and trying
so
to qualify for both, right?
I mean, like I said, at this age, I'm not able to to do like maybe 20 years. I could still do it. I said no. I have to focus on one, and I decided like Asian game is more what do you call? I could see myself getting the gold in the
This is the
Asian Games.
strategy coming back into play.
Yes. Then I said, okay, now, but I have to still plan, strategize. So I said, no, I focus on the Asian Game because there is a chance for me to win. And I thought I need to do it because now with my family supporting, all my kids are there, I need to show everyone that I still can do it. I said, I need to do it. So I pushed myself and said, let's do this crazy thing again.
And see, the history for you is so specific with Asian Games because the previous one that you'd taken part in, you were silver behind by 0.01.
Yeah,
something crazy.
0.01%.
0.01%. What is that? That's a hair. That's the width of a hair.
Yeah, so
right?
It's like, it's not even a cough.
Yeah, exactly. So you went back into it like, not this time.
Yeah, so this time I said, no, I'm not going to. So this time I won by 5% above the second.
Congratulations! That's huge.
Yeah. So,
in perspective to 0.01, 5%?
So I said, no, I'm not giving that, 0.1 to away.
Yeah.
I need to be more than that.
Yeah.
So I prepared myself to get more than what.
That is amazing.
Because it's in dressage, you have to choreograph your own. It's a freestyle to music, the final, the medal day. So you have to perform.
Like on the spot?
You prepare, but you have to perform your own
choreography. Quite scary.
To the music.
Wow.
It has to be synchronized to the music. So it has to be a compulsory movement plus difficulty. How difficult the movements you're performing will gain you the point.
No, I totally understand. This is very similar to maybe like gymnastics scoring. Gymnastics floor, right?
Yeah, the floor.
Except on a horse.
Yeah, only with the horse. It's the same thing. And then, so I was thinking, okay, now what? So I said, okay, no, I need to do something that it's difficult enough and without making any mistakes. So I have to combine some easy but some difficult ones. Choreograph it in that way so that I still can win with the difficulty and still not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
So finally, everything went well.
Perfectly according to plan.
Yeah, according to plan. Music was on every marker.
Beat.
On every beat of what I trained for. So it was just, that was my day. Then I said, okay.
I want to actually, congratulations first off again. But I would like to ambil kesempatan untuk korek rahsia seorang champion lah kan. Like going into this, coming out of the previous Asian Games that you took part in, I cannot imagine how much immense pressure was on you.
Yes.
Your family is there, your kids. Like you started when you were a kid and now you are an adult with a family, with kids who are now watching, supporting you, your parents, after like such a long... And you're coming into it as a previous champion also. So you walk in and all eyes on you. I can imagine. What was the thought process? Like what was the mental prep that went into it?
The mental prep is, I've done my best. I've trained, I've given my best. I do what I can, I'm capable of doing, and I've done all that. And what makes me strong, I know someone decide for me. So win or lose, it's not me to decide. I said, but what I can do is I can prepare the best I can and give my best. That's all I can do. So what is there more? What pressure is there,
Actually, sebenarnya it's quite simple. When you break it down.
When you think of it, it's very simple. It's what is there is, you've done your best, and so just do it. That's it. So in my mind, coming into the arena, I know that moment is like, yes, I heard everyone was silent because I cannot afford
potential
to make
champion.
one mistake I do, it's gone.
And all the other competitors also like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do?
So everyone was like, hoping that, okay, make mistake, or, competitor. But I know that's what people are thinking. But I said, no, I'm not going to,
allow
that to sort of take my focus away from what I want. So at that time, yes, it's the pressure is, you can't explain the pressure that you have. There is 7 minutes. It's like the 7 minute is like I don't know how the pressure you're taking is like So I understand all athletes when they go in the arena or in the ring, whatever that moment is so intense. It's
All this training for 7 minutes.
Yeah, for 7 minutes. So when you look back, you think like how many years you train, how many hours a day, and it's all depend on this day.
Wow.
You do it or
Yeah, go big or go home.
Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So you have to take that. You have to carry that
Wow.
and go in. So the only way, that's how I think. I said I've done my best. Someone else decide. I'm happy whatever result.
Congratulations.
So I do my best, but I will do my best, try my best.
And it paid off in such a big way. I can't decide if this 7 minutes must have felt like 7 hours for you or like 7 seconds.
7
One of the
hours,
two.
more 7 hours,
hours.
because you know you can't make mistake. You
Yeah.
know that you can't afford any mistake anymore,
Yeah.
because that will drop your score. So all you think of, because that's why you have to block everything. You know that everyone's, your whatever media is like, okay, we have to win the goal. We haven't win. We only won 1 goal. They already put pressure, like, next you have to win. You're the next gold medal contender. We haven't win the goal. So I got the 2nd goal for Malaysia.
Yeah, and
Because
all this having swapped your horse at the last possible second, like macam-macam sebenarnya.
Yeah, so a lot of things. But I mean, for me, I've gone through many years of games and championship. I know that, okay, stay calm and just do your best. That's it. Make it simple. Don't think too much. Overthink of things, because when you overthink, that's when you get panic and stress. Like, oh my God, what if I make mistake? I don't think of what if, I make mistake. I just think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
It happens. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. But that's why I think, like, to be up there, you need to be strong. You cannot be, if you're strong, that means you will achieve what. But if not, I think not many people. That's why not many people want to do it, because the stress to get there and handle it. It's
very overwhelming.
Overwhelming, yes.
If there is like one nasihat ataupun like advice or exercise for mental tenacity that you could prescribe to siapa-siapa yang tengah mendengar di luar sana, sekaligus dengan Amelia, I'm going to practice this too lah. If there's just like one takeaway, kind of, right? Like we're all learning right now. One thing that we could all go home, practice by ourselves and learn from that would benefit, I think, anyone listening. What would it be?
For me, is just one thing, that result, whatever you do, is beyond your control. The result, someone decide for you. The higher power will decide. You can train day and night as much as you want. If it's not your day, it's not meant for you, it will never happen. So I leave it I think that way in my mind, and then it feels lighter. And then you feel that, I will just try my best. And that has been, because I knew that that's the end result. Is not me who decide. I can only do as much. So that put the pressure off, and then that's when you get the result, because that pressure is off. A lot of people carry that pressure and thinking like, it's me. I have to, if I do wrong, I won't get the result. But it's not you. You've done everything, but someone decide, and it's not your day. You can train for 10 hours or whatever. It's not going to be you. It's going to be someone else. So if you take it that way in everything you do, I think you're more, you don't stress out so much.
You have more faith.
Yeah, you have more faith, and you believe that. And you don't carry that so much, like pressure or whatever stress you're having. It's just makes it lighter. It feels lighter.
100%. Yeah. No, it's very, very important advice. And I think it's not just like kalau you nak jadi seorang athlete, like in anything, right?
Yeah, I think
there's two schools of thought. It's one that we're too relaxed because we're like, okay, I'm sure everything, which is not good. You have to apply yourself.
Yes, betul.
Tapi di sebaliknya, you pressure yourself so much that you are just really mean to yourself.
Yeah, betul. I mean, everything you do, you need the effort. You need to put an effort if you want to achieve something. But that's the most you can do.
100%.
After that, it's not. So you just focus on that.
Yeah.
Do what you can do, what you're capable of. That's it.
Very important learnings from today's episode. We've pretty much caught up with your timeline. So the only questions really that are left are like, firstly, again, thank you for representing Malaysia and for getting us so many wins.
Very honored to be representing the country, and thank you for.
It's a win for all of us. But I guess my final couple of questions is, what's next? Like 2028, are we going to see you in Olympics? We also had a conversation about how like retirement for this specific sport can come at 77, 78.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
Yeah.
But well, it's at the moment it's tough decision for me, because also in terms of I have a family,
of course,
and then at my age already, how many years in 30 years in the sport, so I'm not like a teenage anymore. My energy level has gone down, so I need a lot of but of course, if there's opportunity, you would want to still contribute, represent the country, involved in some way, or help to develop the sport, or bring up the next generation to go through, so probably I will ask them to go through mental training first before
let me know, I'm going to sign up too with the next generation. Boleh. Would you let your kids follow in your footsteps and become equestrians?
For me, I don't push my kids, but they all born with around horses,
just like you were, kind of, right?
So they are like 2-3 years old, they are on the horse already, they are around horses every day of their life.
Wow,
they have their own ponies, but I have no pressure on them. I know it's hard life to go what I gone through, but if they chose, they have that passion and they want to do it, I will support them.
The talent's in the DNA, I tell you.
But if they say, okay, they want to do other things, I'm also fine.
Of course.
I let them choose what they want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pressure them and say, because I did it, you have to do it. No. I just let them. But they all love horses. Even my 4-year-old is,
so young, so skilled. What is this?
With horses, and they can, they are not afraid of horses. They are around horses. It's because they are, I think, just born with around horses, animals.
Yeah.
So with animals, they love animals. Any kind of animals, they love it to be around animals.
And I think that in itself is going to set them up to be the most empathetic, kind, wonderful adults in future, regardless of whether they choose, to be equestrians or not.
Yes, I hope so. Because I think I have learned a lot from being with horses.
Understand?
Like where I don't think like you learn from school or from in a book, or
absolutely,
it's the experience, the environment, everything makes you a better person. I feel,
agree.
I could have gone different ways, but I know that it has
the drive, the commitment, the discipline.
It has made me, I don't know, I hope so, a better person.
Yeah. For sure. I would believe that 100%.
So I believe that with this, for my kids also, it's good for them to experience, not only in terms of in the school experience, but in sports. I think it's important. Sports teaches you a lot. I think teach you to be not only be healthy in a way, but also the discipline, the focus, the wanting to
teamwork,
and dealing with people, and dealing with failure. We're not winning, those are also part of life, where sometimes you're up, you're down, how you handle that situation, then you be a stronger person, knowing that there's sometimes some days you're up there,
some days you're down,
some days
it's a Ferris wheel of life.
So I think it helps me a lot in life. So now I'm very calm. People always say, why are you so calm when certain things happen around? Like, why are you so...
Because you've been through some crazy life experiences.
Say, why are you not reacting? We are like panicking.
Yeah.
You're like so calm. I say, no, because I've gone through it, and there's no point of being so, because I know certain things I can't control, so let it be. And handle it in a different way. Yeah.
So interesting. I'm going to be thinking about this episode for a long, long, long time. I really do believe that. Before we finish up, I just have a quick rapid fire section for you.
No.
This is the part we've not briefed.
Probably I kind of this is the tough part of the
But
the interview.
it's not going to phase you, lah. It's not going to phase you at all. Are you ready?
All right.
Okay. If you were not an equestrian and you were forced to choose a different career, which one would you pick?
Which one? I would be a BMX rider.
You cannot change athletes. They are really just athletes. Okay, next question. How many horses have you ridden during your lifetime, if you had to guess?
More than 100.
That's amazing. Okay, one must-have item that needs to come with you to competitions. And it doesn't have to be related to the sport. It can be like, I don't know, a lucky charm.
My cap. My white cap.
This specific cap?
Yeah. So it's
How many countries has this cap been to?
All over the world.
Ooh, more well-traveled than me even, I feel. That's amazing. Is the cap a lucky charm?
Yeah, it's sort of like it's
That's
like
awesome.
my uniform. Like I need it.
Branding.
Yeah, branding.
I
Like,
get you.
Yeah, it's like it. When I use the cap, it feels me.
I get you. Hey, this is such a true thing, yeah? I totally understand. Okay, dream vacation spot.
Dream vacation. I love to be perhentian.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. I like it.
Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia, travel local. Okay, next question. If you had to name a horse and the inspiration for the name was your personality, what would the name of the horse be? This is a bit of a dressage question. Creative a bit.
What would the horse name be? You again.
Why did I not expect that? Okay, if I had to name a horse after listening to your story for like the past amount of time that we spent together, I think I would call it resilience. Yeah, that's what I would choose. Yeah. Okay. Final rapid fire question. This is the one that I did prep you on. Do you have a favorite joke? And as a dad, the bar is set so high for you specifically.
Favorite joke. Okay, this is a tough one.
If you want, I can start the ball rolling because we prepped some good ones for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What did the horse say when it fell?
Ouch.
It said ouch, and then it said, I'm unstable.
Unstable. Okay.
But do you want another one? They get worse actually, to be honest. Kalau kuda sakit, dia pergi mana?
Hospital.
Oh my God! Exactly.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, was it
I think you
quite
tell
embarrassing,
better
quite
jokes
cringe?
than me.
Really? No lah. Because we have a team to do it, I would not be able to come up with this off the cuff lah, that's for sure.
On the spot, it's tough for me to make a joke.
That's okay.
It has to come.
It has to come like part of the competition actually. Well, now you've got two horse-related jokes to tell the kids.
Yes.
Which I'm sure they'll enjoy.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll see it.
I hope so lah. Kids are the kindest when it comes to jokes. I think my audience can be quite critical. They're like, apa ni, hambanya. Before we end today's episode, if we want to end on a note where, is there anything you want to say to the Malaysian public? Any types of advice or maybe anything?
For me, yes. I think it's good to be like to be in any sport because it teaches you to be disciplined. It teaches discipline, focus, and I think it's good also in terms of keeping you healthy, and especially in equestrian, you deal with horses, and it's good to also be around horses, and because you learn a lot from being with horses. It doesn't matter what sport you take, polo, riding, or just for pleasure riding, or as a weekend hobby or what. But I think horses teaches you a lot, and I've learned a lot from them, and I hope that it can teach a lot of people, and I hope I can still be doing this sport and helping Malaysia to win more medals. And I hope the next generation will take over and continue what I did, and hopefully to see more medals in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think sekurang-kurangnya there's definitely a lot of things that me and everyone watching at home have learned from today's episode. So thank you for
Welcome.
being so generous with everything that you've learned throughout the years.
Thank you
And we
for
cannot wait to
inviting.
see what's next for you lah.
Thank you.
Yang
Thank
penting
you,
the resilience will be there lah.
Yeah.
Kan?
You have to, yeah.
Have to. Have to.
Yeah, you have to
Thank you
do
so much once again. And untuk korang kat rumah, kita harap you guys enjoyed this episode. You learned a lot from it. Jangan lupa kita akan jumpa same time, same place next week. Bye guys. Ciao.